So if I can do it, anyone in the world can do it. More importantly, you can do it. Always be in the presence because you don't know what is out there. So you know only what is in front of you. So just try to live in that moment. The second micro learning, I would say, it is okay not to be okay. You don't have to be okay all the time. It is
Yeah.
okay not to be okay. Just keep moving forward. I had an interesting conversation with one of the German rider. I told him, Andreas, I'm so tired. I'm not able to ride today. I'm feeling so weak. You know what he used to reply to me? He used to say, but you're still riding. Keep moving. You're
Yeah.
tired. You're not feeling well. You're saying you're tired and you're done, but you still keep moving. So that's a good spirit. So keep moving.
I am Venki, a working professional in IT as well as an amateur masters athlete and a coach for endurance sports. You are listening to the Working Athlete podcast. Here, I talk to working athletes from all walks of life and experts from various sports to provide you with inspiration, training tips, and lifestyle advice. If this is something that interests you, I have a small request from you. Please subscribe to the channel on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts from. You can also let me know what you like and what you would like to listen to more of by commenting in the comment section on YouTube. I promise to do my best to improve with each episode and bring you the best content that helps you and me get better each day. This episode is brought to you by The Bike Affair. If you are in search of a one stop destination that caters to all your cycling needs, our today's sponsor, The Bike Affair, is the perfect place to check out. I have known the founders of The Bike Affair, Krish and Gokul, personally for nearly 15 years now. In fact, my first century ride was with Krish back in 2008. They are both exceptional human beings and entrepreneurs that believe in providing exceptional service to their customers, and it shows. With over 14 years of experience, the Bike Affair has established itself as a trusted source offering honest advice and exceptional service. They are offering a special treat for the listeners of this podcast. You can enjoy a 10% discount on your first order by using the code BikeyVenki on their website. So if you are in Hyderabad, visit their store in Kondapur, or if you are anywhere else in India, shop online by using the link thebikeaffair.com. I will leave the link in the show notes. Now, enjoy the podcast. Welcome back, Jay. Welcome back to the Working Athlete podcast.
Thank you so much for this opportunity and always lovely seeing you, Venki.
Same here, Jay. So we have done this before. We
Yeah.
have spoken about your endurance journey, how it started, and how it
Mm.
progressed. Yeah, yeah. We first met at tour of Nilgiris.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have done a podcast about your initial journey and all that, which was very interesting. And you continue to explore new boundaries in your ultra endurance journey, which is great to see. And
Thank you.
you have recently completed TransAm, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wanted to use this opportunity to hear about your TransAm journey and see how it went, learn what are the learnings from there and from that experience and all that. Again, congratulations on successful completion
Thank you.
of that TransAm. It's a pretty, for those who don't know about the race, can you set the context?
Yeah, sure. Firstly, thank you so much for this opportunity, Venki, and also for me. I think it's very important to say on this platform. I did Transam. It's only because of you and your podcast. Because I remember when I was doing my NorthCape, I had lots of situations where I was struggling to do the 4,500 kilometers. So I was actually listening to Sundaram Narayan's a podcast and also Srini's podcast as well so many times about the RAM. So I actually set myself a target. You know what? I'm actually struggling for this 4,500. So let me just set a new target of 6,500 kilometers. So then the 4,500 would be easier for me to tackle. So you won't believe me. Probably I would have listened to Sundaram Narayan's podcast probably 10 to 15 times during the North Cape. And I was so much inspired by his journey. That's where I set my next target as a Trans Am. So thanks to you, thanks to Srini, and thanks to Sundaram Narayanan for actually inspiring me to take this journey.
Wow, that is so so great to hear,
No,
man.
it is,
Yeah,
and also during the race as well, I was listening to Sundaram Narayanan's podcast couple of times. So I don't know why you did actually so many episodes, but for me, even now, if I wanted to listen any of your ultra cycling podcasts, my go-to podcast are Srini's Ram and Sundaram Narayanan's Transam. I don't know
yeah.
why. It's actually stuck to myself so deep. That's my go-to podcast. So thanks to
Amazing.
you.
Amazing. So what about those what or which moments from those episodes stick out to you and connect to you? I'm just curious.
I don't know. It's I think it's from the start until the end. Like I mean,
Mm,
if you look at these two podcasts, particularly when Srini talks about the Ram, the amount of struggles he has gone through to put the team together. He talks about, I mean, how much he spent. It was so authentic. It was so raw. It was not like a talk show. He was just
yeah,
talking from his heart.
right.
I mean, from the way he spoke, he literally took me to all
Yeah,
the states of the US, and then when I was actually listening to his podcast recently, I think it was last week when I was driving. Whatever he talks about, like I mean, particularly when he just talks about all the regions, Illinois and the Missouri and all those things, I can just relate to those steep rolling hills and the climbs, and it's actually so much connected with me. And also when it comes to Sundaram Narayanan as well, like I mean, I think he was the first Indian to finish the Trans Am. I mean, the way he brought the Trans Am to the platform, as I said, it's again real. It's not polished. He actually spoke from his heart, and the way he spoke about the support he got in the US from the strangers and the bike challenges he faced, everything, I mean, I can't I if I just say that there is one part that actually stuck in me, that wouldn't be fair for the whole podcast. I think it's from the start until the end, I would
right,
say.
right. Yeah, amazing,
and
great.
all and also, just to give you a context, as you said, Transam Bike NonStop. That's what they call the race now, because earlier the TransAm bike race used to be 6,800 kilometers, starting from Astoria and finishing at Yorktown, Virginia. But in 2019-18, there were some actually terrible bike crashes happened, and a couple of riders passed away. So the organizer, Nathan, he actually took it very personal, and he really wants to make sure the riders are safe. So that's where he came up with a non-stop edition, where instead of Yorktown finishing, you can actually finish at the Washington DC. So last year in 2023 was the first edition where he combined both Trans Am and the bike non-stop. So he actually came up with a new race, Trans Am Bike Non-Stop. Starting is the same, but you actually finish at the Washington DC. So this year he came up with the third option, which is a short legal route. So the TransAm Bike Nonstop is around 5,800 kilometers. It's not the 6,800 classic. This year he came up with a new route, which is a short legal route, and there was an option to choose actually 5,300 kilometers. So I chose that option, and also this time he didn't make it as a fixed route, because all these years this race was always a fixed route. So if you make any changes, you need to message the organizer that you're taking a deviation. This time what he did was he just introduced a checkpoint edition. So there were actually three major checkpoints, one in Oregon, Mitchell, and the second checkpoint is in Wyoming. It's a place called actually Moran. And the third checkpoint is a Mississippi River bridge crossing. So for us, it's actually the Burlington. So the people choosing any people can choose any route, but they need to make sure they actually cross this three checkpoints. So this is the first Transam Bike Nonstop edition where the checkpoint was actually introduced.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice, nice. Previously, there weren't any checkpoints, is it?
No, no,
No,
no,
you
no.
just start and then keep going.
This is the first edition. The 2025 edition is a new Transam Bike Nonstop edition with all the checkpoints. I mean, it's basically the three checkpoints. So this is
Right,
this is like a new Transam bike race.
right.
Yeah.
Um, Transam Upendro's experience, when I listened to him, he was the first guy to kind of go through that Transam
Who's
uh,
that? Sorry.
Upendro.
Okay.
So I think it was back in 2015 or something like that, and it was
Where is he from? Actually, he's
is
from India as well.
Bangalore,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So you should listen to his journey. It's
Okay.
amazing. He finished the Transam despite being falling sick very early
Okay.
in the race. I mean, even before starting the race,
Okay. Wow.
the way he he is pretty unorthodox in the sense that
Mm-hmm.
he does his nutrition strategies are different.
Okay.
He's made of a different cloth, simply.
Okay. Okay. Is he still doing the races? Because I never
No,
actually
no.
heard of his name. So,
And right now he is doing ultra running
okay,
and
interesting. Wow.
ultra trail running and stuff.
Wow.
So, and recently he won backyard ultra that was that happened in Bangalore
Wow. Interesting.
by running some 127, no, yeah, some 29 hours or something like that,
Wow. That's
right?
crazy.
So yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. So I mean, these guys, yeah, open row in particular is something else.
Okay. I will definitely look. I mean, I don't know if he's on the socials. I'll probably WhatsApp you later. You can maybe share his
Yeah, yeah.
Instagram handle so I can probably have a connect with
Nice,
him later.
nice, nice. Yeah. So coming to your experience, right? So what was the preparation going into the?
See, okay, 2023, I finished my NorthCape.
Mm,
So 2024, last year, I supposed to actually do this race, but unfortunately, due to some work priorities and due to some health conditions, I was not able to. But still, I haven't actually stopped my training. So, I was just on and off, but still, I'm with the same coach. So I decided, I think early 2024, around like March, April, that I'm not going to do this race in 2024. So then I actually fixed my target for 2025. I even spoke to my employer last year. Listen, I'm not able to travel this year. So next year I need 30 days holidays. So they said, okay, go ahead, no problem. So that's actually the first thing I did because we all are actually working. So we need to just manage this
right.
long holidays, right? So
Yeah.
that's actually the first thing I did. And then I spoke to my coach. I said, listen, coach, Neil, I mean, okay, so now it's confirmed 2025, let's target. So it actually started from there. So the weekdays are threshold blocks and weekends are, I mean, earlier we actually started with 3 hours of endurance with actually 70 to 75% of FTP. And then it just slowly ramps up to 4 hours. 1 month, 2 months before the race, it actually ramps up to 6 hours of endurance, both Saturdays and Sundays. So it's on an average at the end, I think it was like 16, 17 hours of saddle
Saddle
time
time.
every week. But actually what actually killed me was the threshold blocks because I think in my previous training session I never did the whole threshold block. I think I probably did half of it. But this time my FTP increased by 30 watts as well because I was on a dry. I was actually dry for 3 months, so no alcohol, nothing. So, my fitness level improved. And then I did my test and my FTP went by 30 watts. So my threshold block was tough, very tough, because I had to do almost 90 to 95% of my FTP. So this time I did a full block, which is like you start 6 into 6 minutes, and the end was 30 minutes into two blocks. So that's really a hard one. So I really struggled a lot, but actually, with my coach support and more importantly, the nutrition support, I tried managing the blocks. And then, then it started with intensive endurance, where you ride with 90% of FTP for 45 minutes. And the thing is, my coach was very, I don't know actually what to say. Uh, the more I did, he actually made my life more tougher and tougher. So it was like, I was like, come on, Neil, I'm done with this. No, mate, no, 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 you need to do this. So he actually supported me. I mean, obviously, when you're in the process, you may not believe what's going on, but now I'm just talking to you. I can proudly say that all his training and all his guidance actually helped me in such a way that I'm actually sitting to you and proudly talking to you about the completion of the race. So I think it's because of the training and the nutrition that actually helped me a lot to finish this race.
Yeah, amazing. It's the work that you put in through the, from the start to till the finish, right? It's, leading up to the work you put
Yeah,
leading up to the race is the actual work, because in your case, the race was still 30 days, but in something like in the races that we do,
yeah,
the race could end anywhere between 1 hour to 6 hours,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And but the 3-4 months before the work we start
yeah.
putting in,
Hmm.
the entire season kind
Yeah.
of kind of culminates into that, right?
Correct, correct,
Yeah.
correct. I mean, there is
So
actually a very famous a Spartans quote I always say to myself: "One who sweats more in the training bleeds less in the war," kind of things. You know,
yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah, that is very true, very true. So you mentioned, nutrition, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Of course, in any race, nutrition plays a key role,
Absolutely, yeah,
more so in ultra endurance,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
So what kind of nutritional changes did you make with the help of your nutrition coach
yeah.
that helped you in this journey?
See, I think we have actually discussed this quote earlier. So people used to say that ultra cycling is nothing but eating competition on two wheels, right?
Exactly.
So but actually, what changed and what was the change I implemented in this race is okay. In the last race, I knew the nutrition was important, but I never took any action. I mean, my coach always used to tell me 60 grams of carbs or 80 grams of carbs per hour during the training. But I never actually took that seriously, to be honest. And he knows that as well. Probably I would have taken 30 grams of carbs or 40 grams because I always had a thought that I'm a type 2 diabetic, so I don't know what to eat. Maybe I eat too much of Snicker bars. So how my HbA1c is going to respond, what happens to my blood sugar and all those things. But this time I literally took his advice very seriously. Okay, because everything started with my threshold block, because that's the eye opener for me. Because if I don't eat, I know 100% I won't be able to finish this block. So then that's where I really, really opened the doors of, like, I really wanted to knock this down. So I really wanted to tap this door. I really wanted to get this information. And he always tells me eat 80 grams of carbs, Jay, or 100 grams of carbs for the threshold. So that's where I actually got in touch with Vicky Walsha. I mean, she's based in Dubai. She's not a nutritionist. I mean, she's not a traditional nutritionist. She's like a gut specialist, right? So that time I was having some gut issues as well. So I kind of had a 3 months session with her. So she opened up lots of doors for me. Like, in the sense, yes, I knew that 80 grams of carbs per hour is what my coach advises, but I don't know how to get those 80 grams of carbs. Particularly me being a type 2 diabetic, I really don't know, because these things, if you go and talk to a doctor or any hospital, they won't be having this kind of knowledge as well. But Vicky being a cyclist, Vicky is also a cyclist. She's a endurance athlete as well. So she knows exactly what I need and what I'm going through. And she knows that I'm type 2 diabetic as well. So she gave me a list of options that, okay, Jay, option one, you can do this to get 80 grams of carbs. Option two, you can choose from these items to get 80 grams of carbs. So she gave me 4 or 5 options. And then I never used to have bread and jam. Probably that was like during my school days, I used to have bread and jam. But before any long rides or before any threshold block, she asked me to have quick carbs and quick sugar. She told me eat 2 toast and have some nice spread of jam on it. I said, Vicky, I'm a type 2 diabetic. She says, no, 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 just eat and go for the ride. And then you come and tell me. So yes, I did actually took her advice and I started having bread and jam always in my refrigerator. And I also kind of said, you know what, let me check my blood sugar after the ride, what happens. So whatever she gave me on the list, I ate. And then after 1, 2 hours, when I come back home, I have the glucometer at home and I used to test my blood sugar. If I recall, I think when I didn't eat, probably my blood sugar was high. But when the days where I had properly, like I consumed all the carbs, I probably loaded myself with 120 grams of carbs for almost 1.5 hours of threshold, or maybe 6 hours of ride. I used to finish maybe 400, 600 grams of carbs. I come home, my blood sugar is perfect. I didn't have any
Hmm.
issues. And then
Very
even
interesting.
yeah, even in terms of energy wise as well, like when you don't eat and when you do a 6 hours ride, you feel so horrible. I mean, the next thing you want to do when you get home is to sleep.
Yeah.
And again, next day you have a 6 hours block as well. So but when I started listening to my coach and when I started listening to Vicky, like, I mean, who gave all the ideas, I mean, all the breakdown of what I should eat, trust me, my training transformed. I do 6 hours block, I'm fresh. When I do the next day 6 hours block, I felt the same. Probably I would say in the last season, I think my 6 hours session, I didn't reach even 130 or 140 watts for 6 hours. I mean, I'm talking about the normalized
Hmm.
power.
Yeah.
But this season, I think for a 6 hours block, I reached 150 to 165 watts as a normalized power for this whole 6 hours. And the day two as well, I kind of reached around 150 to 160 watts for the 6 hours. So I didn't have any problems at all during my training. Yeah, my coach was happy, and I even did my H1, the HbA1c as well every 3 months regularly. So I didn't see any spike in my blood sugar, or everything was perfect. And I always used to do my every 3 months. I used to scan my kidneys. I didn't see any changes in any of the areas. So for me, I said this is the secret, and let's just follow through it. And I think all these things help me to reach my
Yeah.
target
That,
where
that
I am
that's
right now.
amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. So the it is interesting, right?
Mhm.
Being a type 2 diabetic, it's always like you said, you always question, is this the right thing to eat?
Yeah, you don't know what to do.
What to do, right?
Yeah.
Basically. So you mentioned Vicky, gave you these options to eat, what
Yeah.
to eat on the bike and stuff like that. Can you give examples? I think others in similar situations or not would find it really useful.
See, the other thing about the ultra cycling is as well, you can't carry gels or fancy bars with you, right? So my coach is very, very right about actually what kind of food to choose, the food that you get from the gas stations or chocolate bars and things like that. So I always kept things very, very simple that I can easily find things on the gas station. For example, Vicky would give me options like 4 Snicker bars and a packet of rice cakes, a packet of Haribos, maybe, right? So these things I can find anywhere on the convenience store or on a gas station. She might say, okay, eat 5 pieces of dates with a combination of 3 Snicker bars and two any kind of chocolate bars. So and then she also tells me how many grams of carbs I get from. See, I mean, I know it's actually it's no brainer. You can go see the chocolate bar and you can see how many grams of carbs you get from a Snicker. But like when I started working with Vicky, that's where I started looking at the food labels. So then she
Right.
started telling me, from a Snicker bar, you get 25 grams of carbs from there. So it's around 250 calories. And then I started looking at, so then I know if I have a date, I get 10 grams of carbs from a date. So I started looking at food from a different perspective. So and then it become like a second nature for me. Whenever I go to a grocery or whenever I go to supermarket, when I buy chocolates, the first thing I do is I look at the label.
Mm.
What do I get out of it? So it's more of like chocolate bars, like Snicker bars, Mars, Kit Kat, and then I consume lots and lots of dates as well, and I started consuming a lot of biscuits that actually works for me well. And then I started also taking some savories as well, like for example the rice cakes, the pretzels. You get some actually pretzels on a packet, and I started consuming some Lace chips as well, the salt ones, because your body needs some salt as well. So I never took any gel or any fancy nutrition. For me, it's about that whatever I can find in the gas station,
Yeah.
and whatever I like and whatever that suits me as well. And
Right.
also I started making my own sandwiches as well. I mean, during my training blocks, there was not even a day that where my house didn't have any packet of breads. I
Mm.
always used to have breads and jam, and obviously you can't carry meat or I mean any chicken or eggs with you, but I always have a banana sliced on the bread and jam. So you get almost 20, if I'm not mistaken, 20 grams of carbs from a banana. So
Mm.
from a two slices of bread, you get around 30 to 35 grams of carbs. So from 1 tablespoon of jam, you get around 10 to 15 grams of carbs. So this is how I used to calculate. Okay, so two toast, 35 grams of carbs, 15 grams of carbs from 1 tablespoon of jam. So it's already 50 grams. So I just put a banana on it. So it becomes 70 grams of carbs. So that's my 1 hour. You know,
Right. Yeah.
Snicker bar, you get 20 grams of carbs from one Snicker bar. One date, you get 10 to 15, depending on the size. So I used to say, okay, for the next hour, I'm going to have one Snicker bar, two dates. So it's giving me 40 grams. Okay, how do I increase 20 more? So maybe let me have one more Snicker bar. So
Right.
that's how I started calculating. So I started knowing the food I eat. Okay, I'm eating Snicker. How many carbs? I'm eating a date. How many carbs? I'm eating a pack of Lays. How many grams of carbs? So it's always hunting for that carb numbers and trying
Right.
to load those numbers into your
Right.
system.
Right. Right. Makes sense. Makes sense. So, but this is your on bike nutrition, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But do you like take care of, or do you avoid these while you are off the bike? And how is the nutrition off the bike nutrition looks like?
See, for me, I mean, the short answer is no.
Hmm.
But there's one thing that I don't consume off the bike is sugar. I don't eat any Snicker bar or sweets or dates or off the bike. I do that
Hmm.
only on the bike.
Hmm.
But off the bike, strictly no. But
Hmm.
again, being a South Indian, rice is your staple food. So for
Right.
me, if I don't eat rice, I won't be able to sleep. But like at times, what I do is I kind of I eat everything, but I try to minimize the portion.
Hmm. Hmm.
Vicky used to give me some tips on eating vegetables, and I follow that 70% or 60%, but 30 to 40%, your chipmunks start to say, Jay, you already did so many hours of training, just go and eat, you're going to burn more, right? So, and also, I also felt like in a way that I don't want it to be too much polished on what I eat, because I know I'm going to be out on the road for 30 days.
Hmm.
If I'm eating polished food, maybe if I eat a burger, that won't get adapted to my system, or
Hmm.
I might find just pizza. And if my system is not trained on that, maybe it may not work, right? So probably
Hmm.
because I'm a half junkie, so riding in states kind of helped me. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's not a right statement to make, but I'm just being honest and open. I ate
Yeah. Yeah.
everything. I don't
Yeah.
have any restrictions. I think
Right.
that's probably helped me to survive 30 days on the road.
Right. 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 No, that makes sense. That makes sense. So, you trained hard. You got a nutrition strategy in place. So how was the, how did you what was just give me 1 minute.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No,
some
no, no.
phone was
That's fine. Don't
ringing.
worry. All good.
So saying you did the training, you
Hmm.
got a nutrition strategy in place,
Yeah, yeah,
and prepared as well as you could for the race.
yeah, yeah.
And what was the experience of getting to the start line, and how did the initial days go?
I think getting to the start line was one of the hardest things for me because I'm usually a person with a lot of anxiety. So before, particularly for a bigger race like this, like almost 2 weeks before the race, I started panicking. I started manifesting all the symptoms in my body. So I went to the hospital probably more than I used to go. Because I'm a type 2 diabetic. There is a routine test I do every 3 months. In terms of my KUB, like the kidney, the urinary bladder scans, and my H1AB. Sorry, the H1ABC, right? Sorry, I always actually get this wrong.
Right.
We can maybe cut this maybe later. Sorry. The always do this repeated test, right? But the last 2 weeks was very hard for me, and I went to so many specialists to check everything. I know myself deep inside. I know I'm actually panicking, but the moment I start the race, I'll be fine. But I had like lots of issues. But also, there is also one good thing happened as well. I went and saw a skin specialist as well because I used to have a boil always on the right side of my knee, like where you actually sit on a saddle. So she gave me a very good cream. She told me use this cream. Maybe it will just make your skin harder. So that medicine actually helped me a lot. Where after I just started using that medicine, I never had a boil at all for 30 days, and including now. So and then I met a lot of doctors, urologist, my skin specialist, my cardiologist, because before I go for any long races, I always do my echo test, my treadmill test, my ECGs. I always get a clearance from my cardiologist. So, all those tests. Everything was clear. Clinically, I was good. But, there's always those pre-race blues, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then I was beaten by the jet lag when I landed in the US because this is the first time for me, and I didn't expect it's going to be 11 hours time. Okay, I know it's 11 hours time difference, but I don't know in terms of experience what that 11 hours time difference will do to your body.
Mm.
I was just waking up. I actually woke up 3 a.m. in the morning, and after that, I couldn't sleep. I was fresh. I didn't know what to do. Then again, around 11 a.m., I'm feeling so sleepy. So I started worrying about those things, and then and still, a part of me is telling me that's okay. This is all until the race begins. Once the race begins, you'll be fine. But still, those days were very, very hard. I was just putting myself in a very tension of thinking about lots of things, right? So that's how the pre-race anxiety was. But then again, as I said, once the race started, it was just me, my bike, and the road. Then I never thought about all those health issues, or I never had any problems during the race. To be honest with you, all the pains I had before the race, I don't know where those pain were. They were all
Yeah,
vanished. I
yeah.
was just I was just focusing only on the bike, the route, and the road. That's it.
Right. That the taper period is quite interesting, because that is where your preparation is mostly done, and
Hmm.
you are trying to taper, you are doing a lesser than what you used to, and you are anticipating that
Yeah,
anticipation,
yeah,
before the main event is like
yeah,
there, you're anxious,
yeah.
and all these all the niggles that are, one of my
Everything will
friends,
show up.
yeah,
Everything will show up all of a sudden.
one of my friends recently used a term for it, which I really like, the ghost pains,
The
right?
ghost pains. Okay,
So all
interesting.
these ghost issues that are like,
Popping up.
mostly psychosomatic, you would
Yeah,
think, right?
100%, hundred
Yeah.
percent.
So they show up and you are like, oh, I think I have a niggle. My knee is hurting. My,
Yeah,
this is hurting.
100%.
am I sure now? I think I am getting cold. I can feel it in my body. All these things come up, and it's like really, really anxious times.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
I
once
agree
you,
totally.
if you are able to kind of calm yourself down, you
Manage
understand,
that
if
pace.
you
Yeah,
are able to, be aware and calm yourself down,
yeah.
that will help, right? It
No, no,
is.
100%. See,
Yeah.
again, this is my first. I mean, yeah, this is my second longest race, but still, I'm still actually new to this ultra endurance
Yeah, yeah.
genre. Yeah, again, I know
No,
everything is an
even
experience, and you
for
learn.
people who have done it like
Yeah,
tens
yeah,
of these
for sure.
races, you will definitely, have some, to some degree at least,
Yes,
right?
yes, I agree.
So good, good. So let us break this into like maybe three chunks, right?
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Like, and it's a 30-day long, race. How was the initial period? Initial, say, one third of the race go for you?
See the okay. I finished the race in actually 25 days and 7 hours.
Hmm.
So I there's actually one thing that I
Hmm.
learn always from my coach. I don't set any target when I go for these races because my
Hmm.
coach always tells me just go enjoy the experience, just get the experience out of it. You're not going for winning.
Hmm.
You just go get the experience. So I didn't have a concrete finish plan. Oh, I need to finish in this many days. But I was aiming to do at least 250 kilometers a day. Then I thought, okay, I will be able to finish in 21 days if if I do 250. But in the first 3 days, it was clearly evident that I won't be able to do that because the first week, Venki, I struggled a lot with the jet lag.
Hmm.
Like, just to give you a context, every day at 11 a.m., I felt so sleepy because 11 a.m. in the US is 10 p.m. in Dubai.
Right.
So, and I always used to go to bed by 9:30, 10 at the maximum.
Hmm.
So every day for the first week, after by 11 a.m., I wanted to sleep.
Hmm.
I was not able to turn my pedals at all. So I was like very slow during the day. But at the same time, in the evening from 5 to 9, I was always strong because that's again a time zone difference comparing to
Difference.
Dubai.
Yeah.
So the first week was a little bit slow. So I kind of pushed 200 kilometers on an average. So then I said, okay, if I do a 200 kilometers, then I could see a 26-day of finish, which is decent because I've anyway booked my flight tickets on 30th of June, which is still 30 days because I kept 4 to 5 days as a buffer. So then I said, okay, 26 looks decent, but let me push for 24 or 23 if possible. So then I just kept on pedaling, right? So the one third of the race is completely in the west, where we started in Oregon, Astoria, then we went to Mitchell. That's where the checkpoint one was. So it took 3 days, from 2.5 days. On the third day, I reached the checkpoint one. But it's a lot of climbing, lots of climbings, and the scenery was amazing. It's you find all this. Beautiful part of the United States, particularly in the West. It's so beautiful. And you see mountain, you see the green, the complete green part. You just feel feel like listening to all the songs that you've been listening from the childhood days. It was so poetic. It was so good. But it was actually a lot of climbing. But at the same time, whatever goes up, it has to go down as well. So I did not feel much hard. Maybe like I can say that now because it was up and it's down, up and down. But we had some lots of tough gravel sections as well in the beginning. So it was like that. And then I met like few races. They said, say in the Trans Am, it's only the one third of the race is hard. Then after that, it's all up down, up down, up down. So a guy living in Dubai, when you say up down, you think it's a small rolling hills. Then as we are crossing from the west, then we just entered into Wyoming. It was still mountain passes, climbs, but I think the short legal route was a little bit better. We didn't have that much hard climbings like the classic route, but still there were some very hard sections that I struggled a lot. Then we entered into, like, I mean, from Oregon, we entered into Idaho, then we entered into Wyoming. So it's all actually the best part of the US where you enter into all the wilderness, all the forests, the trees, the mountains. And then we entered into After Wyoming, then we entered into Idaho. Sorry, we just entered into Nebraska, where the most of the mountain things are done. Then the Nebraska is more of all the flat plains and things like that. Then I said to myself, okay, the one third of the race is almost done. Now it's all going to be nice and flat. Yeah, okay, we just entered into a flats, but it's all headwind. We were like struggling. So I was like, man, the even the days where I was climbing on the hills, I was much faster. Yeah, I was slow, but the downhills helped me go faster. But on this plains, on the flats, I couldn't even do 16 kilometer per hour because the wind was so brutal. And also we were on the main highways, and the trucks passing, more than the trucks that passes on your side, the trucks that's coming opposite to you, you wouldn't feel that they're going to have so much of impact, but they just, sometimes you just feel that they're just going to throw you out of the highway. And the flats were so boring, I would
Right.
say, because I did not, I mean, I'm actually surprised I'm actually telling you that, because I'm always riding in flat. But the mountain passes and the climbs I did in the west part of the US, I didn't feel much boring. But the plains and the flats I was doing in Nebraska was totally boring. I was feeling so sleepy. I took more breaks than usual because it's flat, it's boring. It's you could just see for the next 25 kilometers on the road, or you could just see only the straight road. There's nothing else
Right.
on the road, right? And there
Yeah.
is no gas stations. You would find some rest stops, but it was so boring. And
Hmm.
then we crossed into Nebraska, and then and then all the what? Then after Nebraska, then we entered into Iowa. That's where the next part of the race started, which is all the
Right.
rolling hills and stuff like that. And then once we just entered into Iowa, it's all rolling, rolling, rolling. I was just remembering my friend who told me, Jay, don't worry. After one third of the race, it's all rolling. It's easy. But trust me, I never seen the rolling hills I saw, particularly in Ohio. They were all like, yeah, they were all short, steep rolling hills, but they're very steep. When I say steep, they are like 10% gradient. Sometimes even I saw 11% gradient. I think like one of the mornings I just left the hotel. I think it was a very short 1.5 kilometers of a climb, but I think I saw 13 to 14% of gradient
Oh,
on the rolling. I said, wow, this is what rolling hills for Americans are like. They are very, very, very tough. And particularly right after Iowa. I think the Illinois was okay, but I think if I just remember correctly, from the Nebraska, the rolling hills started after the plains until Ohio. The rolling hills were tough. I never saw such rolling hills in my whole cycling journey. That
yeah.
was tough. But again, then I just realized, I used to also think, oh my God, why did the organizer put such a bad route for us? Maybe if it have taken a interstate or a different highway, probably it's flat. But again, for safety issues, we have to cross this side of the route.
Yeah.
But then I was just saying, man, why did this organizer do this? Maybe he wants to test the riders. He don't want the riders to complete the race. But then I just looked a little deeper. Then I just realized that's the geography of the US.
Yeah.
People think US is flat, there is no hills. No, that's like absolutely not correct, because
Right.
the whole geography of the US is like so much hard. I mean, I just the reason why I'm saying is, at the end of the race, I think it was 5 days before the race or 4 days, I came into a place called McDonald. Like, we are just very close to Pennsylvania, because after that part there are no climbings. It's all 3 to 4%, but it's a flat trails and roads. So that was the hardest section. So I thought, okay, I don't have a hotel, so let me go into the city, because that was the only city where the hotels are available. And I thought, okay, let me just go inside, take a deviation. Then I saw a hotel around 10 miles, I think 10 miles, yeah, around 16 kilometers. But the map was telling me 1 hour and 45 minutes. I thought, like, why was 10 miles I need to ride 1 hour and 45 minutes? Then I just entered into the city. I didn't see anything other than rolling hills, climbing, climbing, climb. Then I just said to myself, you know what, hotel, or I'm going to keep riding. I don't wanted to spend 2 hours climbing those hills after a long tiring day. Then I saw one of the guy. clipping something on a truck, and I just told him, hey, listen, buddy, I need to go to a hotel. Would you mind helping me and all? He said, yeah, yeah, just give me 5 minutes, I'll come to you. But he didn't say yes, he didn't say no. Then he just kept me waiting, and then he said, yeah, yeah, come, no worries, let's put the bike at the back. And then he dropped me around like 10 to 12 miles in one of the hotels. That was super hard. I mean, when I was on the truck, I just thanked all the gods I know, like, thank you so much for giving this gentleman, I mean, showing this gentleman, because if I would have decided to climb and get to that hotel, not 2 hours, it would have taken maybe 3 to 4 hours with the tired legs, and
Yeah.
I would have not actually forgiven myself for doing that 10 miles for the hotel, so
Right.
I just came across so many situations like that. And then the end of the race, which is around 700, I think 700, I would say 700 or 650 to 800 kilometers, I would say. Beautiful trails. I mean, one of the thing that amazed me in the whole route is how the Americans have invested, or how they have invested their time and resources to build such a great infrastructure. I mean, when I was in I think in Omaha, I think I went into a bike trail of 63 miles. That's around 95 kilometers. It's just a bike path.
Mm.
There's no, and it's all inside. It's in a forest, and until for 50 miles, I saw tons and tons of people cycling, walking, running. That trail was never empty at all. People are so much committed, and the government spent so much money, so much resources on that. Then the last 700, 800 kilometers, all bike path. And again, one of my friend told me this history. These bike trails are nothing but the old rail trails.
Yeah.
They planned, I don't know, in like 100 years before, or maybe early.
Right.
So they planned for the rail tracks, but either it wasn't used or it was used and removed. I don't know the whole history, but they're all
Mm.
the rail path. So the
Yeah.
last 700 kilometers, Venki, I absolutely loved it. It was all, it was not a paved, but I would say for a first 300 kilometers, you can call it as a champagne gravel. This is a term I learned from one of my friend from the UK, because whenever you see a smooth gravel in the UK, they just call it as a champagne gravel, where you can just roll it, where you can roll easily. So the first 300 kilometers, I think, until Cumberland, they were like fantastic. And then after that, there is a trail called as CNO Canal Path. So this trail starts, I mean, this is called as a gap trail. I mean, okay, uh, even before the gap trail, we were on the bike path, but that is half paved and half paved, but all smooth. Then you just entered a trail called Gap Trail, and that Gap Trail was around, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 400 miles, that takes directly to Washington D.C. It's an amazing, amazing trail, and those trail, I think people even come for camping and all those things. So every 50 kilometers, you have restaurants, the convenience stores. It's like a picnic area. You can go on a picnic on a bike from Boston, Pittsburgh to Washington D.C. Directly. So until Cumberland, you have a nice smooth gravel. Then after Cumberland, you get a little bit like a mountain bike trail. That's where things get tougher and tougher, because um, those trails were very, very hard, particularly if you're like riding in the night. It's actually very hard to navigate. And then if you would have seen my Instagram post, I was stuck in one of the tunnel. It's almost 1 mile long tunnel. It's super dark,
Mm.
and the tunnel has got a width of, just you can go on a bike, that's it, because there is a canal as well inside the tunnel.
Wow.
And then, but anyway, they have the safety barricades, but
Right.
still you can't see anything.
Right.
You need to use your bike. There is no sunlight entering into the tunnel. It's like almost 1 mile, so you need to use your bike light. And then you would just hear the sounds of the birds humming. And then I was just saying all the Kandasasti Kavasam, everything, while entering into the trail, because I mean, into the tunnel, and I was so much scared. I even waited 5 minutes to see if any riders are coming behind, so I can go along with them, right? But no one came. I said, you know what, I'm not going to waste my time. Let me put some devotional songs. Then I was just listening to some Kali or some Amman songs just to get some more strength. And I was just I was just then I just entered the canal. So likewise, and then the MTB part, and the most exciting and the painful part was, I think, 1 2 weeks before, the climatic condition in the US was very rough. So there was a heavy rain, thunderstorms in that part of the US. So what happened? It was a trail, lots of trees were fallen. So the riders who went on that path 1 week or 1.5 weeks before, they had to carry the bikes, lift their bikes, and cross almost 60 fallen trees.
Wow.
Yeah. So I and also the guys who were ahead of me, they were posting all those things on the WhatsApp, which actually made me more nervous, more like anxiety, more anxious, right? But luckily, I didn't cross 60. Maybe I would have crossed 30 trees. I think they
Right.
were starting to remove, but still lifting 20 kg of bike, and some trees were this tall.
Huge. Right.
Sometimes I was like, why do I need to carry the bikes? I used to carry the bike and throw with a lot of frustration because I couldn't do that anymore. Come on,
Right.
30 trees lifting your bike, you're tired, you don't have any gas stations, you don't know when is the next water station. There's lots of things running in your head, and the last thing you want to do is lift your heavy bike because there is a fallen tree, right? So it's a lot of mixed terrains, I would say. And again, this is the beauty of this course. If you look at the traditional Transam bike race route, which like Sundaram did, it's a 6,800 kilometers. It's all tarmac, it's all paved. There
Hmm.
is no gravel sections. But because of the bike non-stop, because of the safety of the riders, Nathan came up with some gravel sections so that we don't use the main roads or the roads that has got hazards. But again, it comes with a trade-off where you need to have a gravel tires so that you don't have flats, or you can manage your route as well. So we just got into this trail. We I would say, so many times I felt like I'm blessed to be on those trails because they are beautiful. I saw some bridges, I think, in one of my Instagram posts 2 days back. I I posted. It's on the Castleman River. The bridge was almost 120 feet high, and the bridge was almost 1.5 mile long. And I crossed the highway with four roads. I crossed a huge river, and I crossed a rail track. It was so. I mean, I felt like, man, I never seen
Wow.
such a long bridge. Particularly, it's not a road. It's
Yeah.
it's a it's a cycle path. I
Yeah.
was just thinking immediately,
Amazing.
like,
No.
man, I look at the infrastructure of this beautiful country, right? I mean, because I never seen such a beautiful structure. Yeah, in Dubai we have a different
Hmm.
gift like the cycling track, but this kind of bridges, the amount of time and the resources they spend, I was blown away. It was so, I don't know, I'm just losing my words, but I felt so blessed to be there at that
Right.
point of time. And all I could say is, this is fantastic.
Hmm.
This is like one of a kind experience, and I'm very glad that I'm having this experience because of
Yeah.
this race. So that's the that's the best part. Then again, entering into the BC Washington DC, I mean, not much. Probably we would have rolled into 7 8 kilometers into the city, and again, those things doesn't matter because the race is already finished, or the race is
Yeah.
coming to an end.
Yeah.
So yeah, so there's lots of climbs, lots of gravel sections, boring flats, deceptively, what can I say? The rolling hills I saw from Nebraska until Ohio were very, very deceptive, but they're too steep. Beautiful trails, fantastic bridges, long tunnels. It's a kind of a mixed emotions, I would
You
say.
seen everything in
Yeah,
that
yeah,
race.
yeah, absolutely. It's a kind of like, one one ride, but with different. It's not only the different terrains, but it's also a different emotions as well, I
Yeah.
would say.
Yeah. Yeah. Talking of emotions, right?
Hmm.
In a long ride like this,
Yeah,
you will see all kinds of terrains, all kinds of weather conditions,
yeah.
all kinds of
Hmm.
physical
Yeah,
hurdles.
yeah.
But what you know what was the mental state like, right? What, in terms of what were the highs and lows when it comes to the mental side? Did you
See, the
ever feel like, okay, what did I sign up to and all that, or was it, oh, always like, oh man, this is great?
if I just say it was always I was so much chasing the experience, it's going to be a big lie. I'm not going to lie to you. Yes, there were moments where I said to myself, "Man, what did I sign up for?"
Right.
But again, also I know that I'm there for a purpose. Yeah, I didn't do kind of any charity or something, but again, the reason why is something to explore, nothing but the question I've been chasing. Okay, how long can you go on a bike when you strip your things back and there is nothing, just only the trust of you or the self trust, right? So that question was there. So I always wanted to see what is next, what is there, what is there when I just cross this. So I came across a very good podcast by Ed Millett. I actually listened to his podcast. I think it was with Jay Shetty, I think. It's called as The Power of One More. So whenever I fell down, I always think, okay, let me do one more stroke, or let me do one more mile, or let me do one more day. Like, let's say that I felt like, man, I'm done. I want to maybe scratch the race. No, let's do one more mile. Or then I cross a mile, I say, you know what? Let me do one more hour. Or maybe, you know what? Let me go to the hotel. Let me sleep. Let me take a decision tomorrow. Because my coach always used to tell me there is a rule in ultra cycling. If you wanted to scratch a race, don't do it in the night time. Always sleep and come back and think about it the next day, how your mindset is, right?
Yeah.
So that Power of One More by Ed Millett actually helped me a lot. So whenever I was down, I was always thinking about one more, one more, one more. Or maybe I see my map, I think, okay, there is one more petrol station in 10 miles. Let me go there. So I was kind of playing with my mind, right? Okay, let's talk about high and lows here. Like when you talk about highs, I think the beautiful landscape around the US was mesmerizing. Even like when you're tired, sometimes it doesn't make you feel tired because I've seen sunrises. That's also a beauty of ultra cycling. Being 25 days on the road, I saw 25 different sunrises. I
Right.
saw 25 different sunsets, right? So the beauty, particularly the sky in Nebraska, was fantastic. You've seen a lot of what do you call, on the Lightroom you will get presets of sunsets, sunrises. They always say the sunset from Nebraska, but I was so blessed to be in that moment to see those sunsets and sunrise by being there. It was fantastic, it was beautiful. I mean, I'm actually speechless to describe, but I would say I'm blessed to see those sunrises and sunsets, right? The landscape. And the other important thing when it comes to highs is the people.
Yeah.
The people in the United States. Inky, I never seen such a good souls like that. Don't get me wrong. I mean, when I say, okay, I would have seen lot. I've seen a lot of good people helping a stranger whom you never met, whom you don't have any connections at all. I never seen that in my whole life. I mean, there were days where I think on the fourth or fifth day I was stuck in one of the gravel sections. I mean, a lot of riders didn't choose that section, but I chose that because of the short route. But I rode around, I think, 5 miles, Winky. I did not ride. It was kind of a hiker bike because there was a sand of almost, I was not able to ride because the sand was so deep. So I
Mm.
was walking, hiking a bike. Then wherever I found a little bit better, I rode. So kept on going for 5 miles. Then I just saw in a map, so this is going for another 10 to 15 miles like this. So then I stopped the car and then I asked him how long this trail is for, or like how long the road is going to be like this. There's no road, only sand. He said it's going to be like this forever, maybe for next 15 months. I think you will be reaching maybe in the midnight. Do you have a camping gear or something? Because I don't think you will reach the paved when there is a sun during the daylight. Then I asked, and then I know that there are some riders choosing a different route. So what I did was in the racing, you know that if you're off the track, you can always come back with the support and you can
Yeah.
start from where you stopped and then you can go. So then I said,
Right.
okay, I'm here. So I was on the route that didn't work. So then I spoke to those two Americans, the family. would you be able to drop me back in the main road? Then I thought I'll follow the route where other riders are going. That is possible. You can do it.
Yeah.
So that they were like, yeah, why not? Let's put the bike on your. They didn't say anything. They didn't think.
Mm.
Okay, okay, Jay, no problem. We'll just help you. And we just threw the bike on the car, and then they dropped me. I think 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I came back to the main road. Then I thanked them. We took a picture. Then I told the organizer, Nathan, I'm not able to ride this route because there is a lot of sand. So I'm coming back. I told them I'm using a
Mm.
support coming here, but I'm going to start the route from the same place where I stopped. So then
Mm.
I started riding on the main road. That was one of the great decisions I took, or else I would have been stuck on that sand pit or the
Mm.
trail, whatever. And I would have been, my mind would have been gone in a different chaotic
Yeah.
level. But again, talking about the people, right? I'm a stranger. I asked them for support. They never even thought about it. So the the respect and the love and the support you get, particularly when you're a cyclist, that's fabulous. And I've like several situations. I had tire issues in one of the places. I found a bike shop 23 or 25 miles, I think. So to my luck, I think God helped me in many ways. There was a gentleman with a Ford truck. Something happened to his truck. He was stopped there to check his truck. I went to him. Can you help me? All right, okay, let's see. Let's see. He didn't tell me he's going to help or he's not going to help. He said, okay, let's put the bike. We will see. I'm going half distance. Then on the car, we started talking. Then he asked me, where am I coming from? I said, I'm coming from Astoria. What? You rode this bike from Astoria? I was like, yeah. And then, where are you heading to? I told him the final point is Washington, D.C., but I don't know whether I'm going to finish or not. What? You're going to Washington, D.C.? Are you okay? I like kind of like people thought like I'm probably out of my mind or something because crossing the US from the west to the east on a bike and particularly having issues. And, so people thought there's something wrong with me, right? But then again, there were a lot of people listening to my stories. They were like, they were shocked and they're trying to support me. And the same gentleman, he said, okay, no problem. I will take you to the bike shop. And I told him, can you see how I was like misusing people also, right? I was like abusing also, right? Then I asked him, can you drop me back in the same place where you picked me up? So like he's like, mate, now you're asking for too much. I said, no, no, no. I mean, if it's an inconvenience, don't worry. Then he said, no, 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 it's fine. Don't worry. You just pay for my petrol. I will take care of that. I said, don't worry about it. I'll just pay your fuel. And then he got me back to the same place where I stopped. Then he's asking me, what are you going to do? It's already 7 p.m. You have daylight for another 2 hours because I think the sunset was 9:30 or 9:40. There are no hotels here. The hotel you find here is around $200 per night. The next town, which is 30 miles, the hotel rooms were $400 because that's in Wyoming. That's a tourist area. We both were looking at each other. So I don't know what to do. Then he was having his dinner and he said, you know what, let's have our dinner. So then we went to a supermarket. We both were having dinner. And then he said, you know what, I have an idea because he was living in a trailer. So he said, my trailer is 15 miles from here. Why don't you come to my trailer? I will give you a nice sheet and something to keep you warm so you can sleep. I said, wow, that like sounds like a plan. So I didn't say no. Or I said, if it's not an inconvenience, I would definitely take this offer, because you don't have an option as well, to
Yeah.
be honest there. So then I told him, you know what, I cannot come in your truck because this is a race route. So then he told me, no problem. This is the location. You come 15 miles, you'll find this gas station. You need to take left. So then I said, okay, you go there. It's again a rolling hills. I told him maybe I may take 2 hours or 3 hours, but I'll come to your place. So then I reached there in 2 hours and 15 minutes. Then he kept the bed ready, and then I had a nice conversation with him. So like that. Now I know why you call people like this as a trail angel, because they are
Yeah.
really an angel to you. Because
Yeah.
and particularly, Venki, sometimes I was in actually tears when I was just thinking about. And then I just looked at the mirror and I just asked the question to myself, Jay, if you are in a position, will you be able to do the same? Will you be able to show the same kindness to a stranger? I never done it. So I
Yeah.
don't know what the answer is, whether it's yes or no or right or wrong. I don't know. But all I know is the people I met, I don't know if I can say they're God sent or it's the nature of the people in the West. I don't know, but I saw one of the kindest people I would ever see on earth. So this
Mm.
is the definitely the highs, the landscape, people
The
I met. And
people.
again, I don't want to also forget the people who've been constantly messaging on my Instagram, seeing my stories. Those messages were absolutely phenomenal messages, and again, don't forget, these messages sometimes puts you in a pressure as well, that you need to finish the race. But again, I had so much of support. Yes, I was doing a solo self-supported, but I was never unsupported. There were
Mm.
lots of hearts looking at me. It is like incredible, right? And that's why sometimes I love being on the road, because you don't know, even a friend who doesn't message you for a year, when he sees your story, he's like start chatting to you, he's starting worrying about you, he start looking after you. So you get love from everywhere, you get people so much, they just care about you, right? So these are the highs. Lows, again, I completely hated the gravel sections.
Mm.
And then I had a 40 millimeter tires on my bike, so the gravel sections were very hard. They were like, whatever the climbs we did on the paved, the same steep climbs we had to do it on the gravel as well. And those gravel sections I'm talking about in the west were big rock, I mean, not big rocks, but they're like full of stones. They're not smooth gravel sections, they're not too hard as well, but it was like the sand was too deep, you're not even able to ride. There were days where I couldn't find a hotel, because I'm not used sleeping outside, so I was entirely depending on the hotels and motels around. So in the Midwest, particularly, I had to reroute for 12 miles or 10 miles to find a hotel, which is almost 16 kilometers to go and 60 kilometers to come, which is almost 32 kilometers. It's a 2 to 3 hours of ride already wasted. So, but I didn't have other options apart from taking that reroute, or taking that route,
Detour.
apart from, yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, there's like no other option for me apart from taking that detour and finding a place to stay. But again, there were challenges with the internet as well in the US. Most of the times in the West, you never had a internet connection. So around like 7:30, oh my God, now where am I going to go? Where is the next hotel? So suddenly I used to stop a car, and there were people tell me, yeah, you go 5 miles, 10 miles. And you won't believe me, there is an interesting story. One of the gentlemen, the two guys, I think they stopped and they told me this is the hotel. They were like, they stopped literally. They were with me for 20 minutes planning for me where I should sleep.
Right.
And you know what is the most important part here? The guy, he asked me, okay, where do I track? Where do I see your information? Then I told him, you need to go to the rideyourbike.com. That's the website. This guy literally went to that app. He found my Instagram, and next day, Venki is messaging me direct message on my Instagram. Hey man, I was the one who was helping you with the hotel yesterday. Were you able to manage your hotel? How are you feeling? You're okay today? I was like, I was, I was like
Amazing.
speechless. The gentleman, he did not only stop for me and help me. Next day, he's checked my details and he's messaging me, asking me whether I am safe, am I okay or not. I mean, for me, this is beyond
Amazing.
kindness.
Yeah.
So
Amazing.
these are like some of the stories, right? So I would say there were lows, but comparing to the highs I had, I think the lows were very, 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 very minimum. Yeah.
And you were able to get through those lows by saying one more, one more.
100%. That was
Yeah.
like one of the things. Also, I was always thinking, when I just finish this race, I will be invited by Venki for a podcast. So I'm gonna speak on a podcast as well. But again, the power of manifestation. I think instead of thinking that I am gonna achieve this or I'm gonna reach there, I lived my life in such a way that I already reached there. Do you
Right.
do you
Yeah.
see the difference?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
when you want to reach
You
somewhere,
already see it accomplished.
I
Yeah.
already not only see my energy systems, my energy was in such a way that I reached Washington DC already. So I kind of felt I reached what is next,
Hmm.
kind of thought process, and yeah, sometimes it may, I mean, people in this cycling journey may relate to it, but people who are not in this journey may maybe think in a different way, but for
Yeah.
me it worked.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. No, the definitely makes sense. You have to believe. despite all the doubts, despite all the pains, aches,
Yeah,
you have to believe that,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah, for
know
sure, 100%.
yeah,
And again,
again.
right, and again, I just kind of saw this quote somewhere 2 days back. You don't actually, I mean, you actually plan only the miles, but you don't plan the moments. But what you live is with the moments and not with the miles, so that kind of very much relatable to the
Absolutely.
topic we are actually talking about today.
Absolutely, absolutely. You live in the moments, right? You live the moments. No, you get through the miles, but
Yeah, but
you
what actually stays with you is the memories and the moments that
correct.
you
Yeah,
because you plan for the miles. Okay, I'm going to ride 100 miles, I'm going to ride 200 miles, but you're not planning, oh, this is what I'm going to get,
right,
this is what I'm going to see. So those moments you don't plan, but
right.
you live with those moments forever.
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely, beautiful, beautiful. So, what was it like getting to the finish? It all you expected? Was it you know what were the emotions and feelings like at the finish?
See, I didn't just cross the country. I think I just crossed a part of myself that I never touched before.
Mm,
I think I mentioned in my Instagram post as well. The finish line was not dramatic. It was not loud, or there were no group of people waiting for me. But it is more deep. It is more personal. I mean, when I say personal, don't get me wrong, it's not that to keep it to myself, but I don't have words to articulate them. It was just a stillness, I would say. I was crying. I was into tears. But also, a funny thing is, I came to the finish line. I want to take the picture in front of the Lincoln Memorial. But there is a clear message says no bikes allowed inside. I said, it's okay. I already crossed the whole continent to come here. So if anyone stops, we will deal with them, no problem. So I went to the Lincoln Memorial. Everyone was clean because that's a tourist destination. People were on with the cameras, clean, properly dressed. Then I go with my dirty jersey, with my dirty bike bags and a dirty bike. And then everyone was looking at me. Okay, so they probably understood this guy is coming from a different continent or maybe from a different part of the US. Then I went to the security. He's like, I want to take a picture. He said, I'm sorry, sir, you're not allowed to take a picture. Then I was like, I'm sorry, sir. I've been on the bike for 25 days to take a picture. Can you please help me? Okay, okay, I got it. So then I'll give you a few seconds. And then I'm scared to give the phone to him because I don't know what kind of photos he will take. He said, don't worry. I'm very much experienced in taking a photo here. So the security told me, you have 30 seconds to 1 minute. Let's take a picture. Then I just took a picture and then I just went, sat quietly, and I was just thinking about all the 25 days of the solitude, the people I came across. And I kind of, as I said, right, it was just a pure stillness. I just sat there. I forgot even where I left my bike. I put it in one of the walls. Okay, you be here. I'm going to sit. So I just sat in front of the Lincoln Memorial. I could just feel the tears rolling out of my eyes. I don't want to stop it. I don't want to control it. I just said, let it roll. And I just sat in silence for a while. And then I just said, I crossed the whole continent, but today I think I crossed a part of myself that I never touched. So
Beautiful.
it
Yeah.
was, I was just still for a moment. And then you won't believe me. I went to a hotel. I stayed there for 3 nights because I couldn't change my flight. But for the next 3 days, I didn't know what's happening. To me, a guy who finished this race struggled a lot. 25 days on the bike. It's one of the biggest achievements in the life. I should be dancing. I should be taking a bottle of champagne and pouring it on myself. But nothing of that sort. I felt I'm full. At the same time, I felt hollow.
Mm,
There is something, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know what was that feeling. I'm not happy. I'm not happily dancing. Hey, I finished the race. Wow, it's a big achievement. Calling my friends. Hey, I've done. No, nothing of that sort. Just messaged my wife. I reached to the finish line. I sent her the photos. But again, the time difference, she replied to me after 6 hours. Then I put the Strava, then Instagram, then went to the shop to, because you don't have clothes. So now, after you go to the hotel, take shower, buy your shoes, buy your shorts, buy your t-shirt. So those kind of things. So I was just walking on the road, doing things like any normal person would do, but not with any sense of what can I say? With the sense of accomplishment or achievement, nothing of that sort. I was just quiet for very quiet for like I'm still processing. Still, probably I haven't come out of it.
Mm.
I had a chat with my friend last week as well. He was telling me, listen, you finished a race that I would never even dream of in life. But you're coming and telling me things in a very, like, as if you went on a car or something. Man, what you did is something I don't know if I can do it or not. Why you're not exaggerating? Why are you not talking about things in a loud way? I said, I don't know. I don't know, something happened to me after this race. I'm not able to articulate things. I'm not able to speak to people about the achievement. I'm just keeping myself
Mm.
in a place where I don't have any meaning. Or maybe there is a meaning, but I'm not able to
Convey.
put them in words.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is a very different feeling. I think this is probably the beauty of the journey,
Mm.
where I would say the race is finished, but I feel it's not finished. I
Mm.
feel there's lots of questioning, there's lots of processing, there is lots of remembrance. Like I still feel a part of me is on those mountain passes, on the motels where I met those people, and all the motels were owned by Indians. And when they see me as an Indian, they gave me a $5 discount on the motels. So those kind of things, the people I met at the petrol station, it's still coming and going. Still
Yeah.
feel the part of me is left in those mountain passes, the roads, the gas stations, and those gravel sections, the trails, you know. So that's the feeling, Venki.
Mm.
I don't know if it's a right thing or a wrong thing, but this is exactly what's happening to me in the
Mm.
last few weeks from the time I finished. I had a call with my coach last week. I don't know if I can say this here. He just came online and we were talking. He just asked me, Jay, I'm so happy. I never had a 1% doubt that you would not finish this race. I always had a confidence in you. I'm so proud of you. How do you feel? He asked me this question. I was just literally, I was crying for almost for few seconds. I don't have any words. I didn't have any words, and I didn't plan that. I didn't think it's going to be an emotional session with him. But the moment he asked me, "How do you feel?" I was just into tears.
Yeah.
And he told me, I think this is the true purpose of those adventures. And i
Mm.
think i think this is what this kind of journey does to
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
because it's more deeper than what you think,
Yeah.
what you
Yeah.
feel. Sometimes you may have words to explain, but sometimes you won't have the words to explain. And that's like you feel like you're reborn. You
Yeah.
feel like I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. When you cross these gigantic chasms, right? Like when you what you see as a really really big
Hmm.
hurdles,
Hmm.
right? Or really big journeys after
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You don't know, you don't really have words for that,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
but the emotions come through the tears.
yeah,
The
yeah,
they you don't you they're probably happy tears, they're probably tears of contentment, they're probably
yeah,
tears of achievement. You don't know,
yeah.
you can't really put it in words.
100%.
I still remember it's not very comparable to 5,000 kilometer 6,000 kilometer race, but I still remember the moment when I crossed the I climbed Wuti as part
Hmm.
of my first TFN, right?
Okay.
It was the penultimate day of TFN, and we were climbing the Wuti. and
Mhm.
the last 20 kilometers, I mean the Ooty 20-kilometer climb was the competitive segment,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
I was riding my fixed gear bike,
Wow.
and
Okay.
on my first TFN, right? And I the 6 months prior to that TFN, I was
Mhm.
preparing so much. I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
so afraid that
Yeah.
if I would be able to
Yeah.
do it or not.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Once I crossed the finish line of that competitive
Uh-huh.
segment, I knew
Mhm.
that it is done. Next
Mhm.
day was an easy recovery, kind of,
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
good to Coordinate viewpoint and
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, I sat there at the finish line of that competitive segment,
Yeah. Yeah.
cried and cried and cried for like
Yeah.
five
Yeah.
minutes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just that you can't really express what it is
100,
all
100,
about.
100%. I mean, probably if I would have heard this conversation 3 years back, that what you went there and you cried, I would have probably laughed at you. Maybe I would have just laughed at anyone. I mean, not being rude, but
Yeah,
today when someone tells me that you cried, could I could definitely
yeah,
relate to those emotions, And then again and again, right? This is the thing. Well, also, one more thing. I think again, I'm just trying to mention about my coach as well. I'm actually blessed to have him because he always tells me, don't think about the goal. Don't think about you want to finish this, you want to finish that. Just go, enjoy the experience.
yeah,
That's like very important, right? So I did not put much of a stress on me that I need to finish the race in this day or in this time, or I need to finish within this. No, all I was doing was, Venki, what is next? What I can do next? Okay, I've come here. How can I go to the next place? How can I, okay, when I reach that place, how can I go to the other place? So I
yeah,
was just trying to see, Jay, you have taken a decision to come. You actually signed up for this. No one asked you to sign up for this. Nobody forced you to do this. It's my conscious decision. So how can I reach to the next level? That was my one thing.
yeah,
So I was always trying to. Then again, right, when I look at people, they were doing this for so many causes and everything. Then I didn't have a proper cause to say. But then again, there was an underlying cause was to explore myself, which means to explore the human potential. What as a human can do, what Jay as a person can do.
yeah,
So I was always, because I don't have a clear answer of, oh, Jay can do this, or Jay has done 4,500 kilometers, so he can do this. No, I don't have that paradigm in my head. For me, it was just, okay, I came now to Nebraska. What is the next? Okay, where am I going to go tomorrow? Where am I going to sleep? Okay, I reached. Where am I going to go? So I was just living absolutely in that moment, in that presence, not thinking about, oh, I have to finish the race. I have to finish in these days. I booked my flight ticket. I booked this, that. I didn't have any other pressure. Even
mm,
if I was not able to do something in the middle, something would have happened. I would have blissfully taken that as a gift, or as a, this is what it is. I would have just happily, maybe I would have cried later, but I would have happily accepted what came to me, and I would just left. So I didn't have that.
yeah,
But probably it's because that you did not have those kind of expectations, self.
mm,
You think probably I was just put in a situation where I don't know what to do. I
mm,
don't know how to react. Right? So,
yeah,
and again, also look at it. If I look at it, even I think I had a huge shift when I'm at the workplace as well. When I just connect this experience to work, I think I completely starting to see things in a different way. I don't take tensions anymore. I kind of, okay, that's fine, it's okay. There should be a different way of looking at it. Okay, it's fine, let's, kind of, I started, instead of panicking, instead of being tensed, I kind of, okay, let's just revisit the topic, or let's just have a look at it later. Let's park this now. Let's just look. So I kind of completely, there's a shift in the perspective, the whole, the things I start to look at, the things that I come across every day.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, an experience like this can have far-reaching far-reaching effects across all aspects.
And also, no. Venki, the thing is right. The thing that amazes me as well, people sometimes think, okay, when you come back from these kind of events, you feel that you have a crown on yourself, or you achieved something and you walk with your shoulders. No,
It
but I think experience like this
humbles
makes
you.
you more humble and makes you more actually vulnerable,
Yeah.
because you see things in a very different perspective. You start to live in a life. I mean, imagine I slept 25 nights in 25 different places. Some days it was a motel, some days it was a trailer, some days it was a shelter somewhere. I met different people, people from different walks of life, so that gives you a complete different perspective about life totally.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. We can go on talking forever with these, the
Yeah.
topics that both of us love, right?
I know for sure.
But I also wanted to touch upon, something that maybe people who want to pursue something like this would
Hmm.
find useful.
Hmm.
So, what were the logistics in terms of getting yourself and your bike there?
Hmm.
And coming back, it's you land at the west side of the continent and ride to the east, right? You don't you I'm assuming you can't carry a bike box
Yeah.
that you can maybe ship it to this side. What were the logistics there?
See, I think in the US it's easy, because in the US there's a postal services, and there are lots of bike shop services like this, where you can send your box from the east to the west. It may take
Okay.
longer, it may be expensive, but it's possible. But
Hmm.
in the world of ultra cycling, particularly when you are doing a race like this, obviously you go with the bike box, you go with the set of clothes that you want to throw, or the suitcase, whatever you want to throw, because you're not going to carry anything with you. So bike box, a small bag with things, shoes, whatever you carry. So you start the race. Then again, when you go to the east, once the race is finished, then again you look for a bike shop, get the bike box, or you give them the bike to pack it. Again,
So
even the
cardboard box, you mean?
yeah. You take the normal cardboard box. That's what you will be able to carry. And again, in terms of the flight tickets as well, it's a little bit more expensive, because it's a multiple ports. You're not landing in. See, for example, I landed in LA, and I went to Portland, and from Portland to Astoria. Then when I came back from Washington DC. So it's a two different ports as well. So the tickets are, you need to plan your tickets as well in such a way that that it accommodates both the start and end of the race as well. And in terms of logistics, in terms of things I carried on the bike, I carried lots of medicines, because it's a long 25 30 days race, so you don't know when you will fall sick. So your cough syrup, your antibiotics, your regular medicines. Plus, I just had one bib that I wore and one jersey. I had a emergency, like one bib in my bag. Then plus all the rain gears, the winter gears. Then I had one small pillow with me in case if I wanted to sleep somewhere. Then all the electronics, your charging cables, your power bank, your lights, and very. I mean, I had my setup little bit heavier than NorthCape, but I learned my lessons in NorthCape. Like, I didn't have any emergency. I didn't have any empty spaces. So this time I had a lot of space to throw my food, to throw my jacket, to throw my things in. So that actually helped me a lot. And I think I'll stick to the setup what I had for this race. Maybe I'll go a little bit more lighter, a little bit more, but I'm actually very happy that the setup I had kind of took me over to cross the whole continent.
Nice, nice. And you were riding a gravel bike
Yes.
with various backpacking bags,
Yes,
right?
yes. I was using a Scott Addict gravel, and I was entirely depending on the tailfin system, because
Mm,
tailfin is one of the blessings in the ultra cycling community. So
mm.
their engineering, I mean, their products are engineered so well. So I used the tailfin completely for my top tube bag, my frame bag, the rear aeropack system, the two panniers, and I had a cyclite. or the aero bar. That's where I put all my food backups and things that I want to reach out very easily. And all
Mm.
those bags are waterproof. Obviously, you are carrying your passport, you're carrying the important things, so it needs to be 100% waterproof.
Amazing, amazing.
So it's like basically carrying your studio apartment on a bike for 25
Right,
days.
right, right. Amazing, amazing. Let's talk about the learnings from the whole experience.
Venki, I think see the after I finished the race, there is one thing that the thing that I wanted to tell people is very simple. If I can do it, you can do it. So the power of human potential is limitless. So you put. I mean, I'm really surprised how your body and mind can perform when you put them under so I put my body under such a big challenge, but my body performed so well. That's because I invested my time in training the body, giving that right nutrition. So people think training your endurance system is very important. Yes, but don't forget to train your gut. So your gut training is important as you train any of the systems when you do particularly these kind of long rides. So if I can do it, anyone in the world can do it. More importantly, you can do it. This is my biggest learning. Then again, I also like there are some little bit short learnings as well. Always be in the presence, because you don't know what is out there, so you know only what is in front of you. So just try to live in that moment. That's the first micro learning. The second micro learning, I would say, it is okay not to be okay. You don't have to be okay all the time. It is
Yeah.
okay not to be okay. Just keep moving forward. I had an interesting conversation with one of the German rider. I told him, Andreas, I'm so tired. I'm not able to ride today. I'm feeling so weak. You know what he used to reply to me? He used to say, but you're still riding. Keep moving. You're
Yeah.
tired. You're not feeling well. You're saying you're tired and you're done, but you still keep moving. So that's a good spirit. So keep moving. So it is okay not to be okay, but just keep moving. And the third micro learning, I think I was just reflecting on this. Be curious, be flexible, and be a student. When I say be curious, sometimes when you think that you know everything, you don't get that experience out there. So be curious about things in life. So whatever comes to you, you will just accept it. And be flexible, because when you're fixated with this is what I will get or this is what I want, sometimes you may not see things that's coming to you, right? And then again, be a student, because when you're a student, you always want to learn things, you always want to see what is in there for you. So that's why the third micro learning for me is be curious, be flexible, and be a student. Because when you're out there, you don't know what is out there for you. So you cannot control what is out there, but you can control the way you feel, the way you see things. So these are my three biggest micro learnings. And again, the most important thing is, if I can do it, you can do it. So if you're just planning for a journey, you can maybe plan the route, you can plan the miles, but you cannot plan the moments.
Yeah.
So you will be surprised by the fabulous moments that you will come across.
Man, this is I could imagine that you are still processing the whole experience, because that's a lot to kind of that the experience is so much that you will the memories are so many that you will carry through your life, that it will take time to process. Congratulations again on the amazing experience.
I'm already in chat with one of my friend from where is he from? I forgot. Okay, so I'm already in chat with a friend of mine. So yeah, he's from Sweden. So we are
Mm.
doing this time. We are doing a pair. We both are going to do a race in 2026. That's the North Cape to Tarifa. That's the longest ultra cycling race in the world. It's around 7,400 kilometers. You start from North Cape, where I finished last time. Then you ride all the way to Spain, Tarifa. You cross around 10 to 12 countries during that race. It's also one of the hardest race because it comes with 90,000, 80,000 on meters of climbing as well. So
Wow.
this time he saw me racing, and so we've been connected because we met in the North Cape. and we both supposed to do the Trans Am. Unfortunately, we couldn't do it last year. So he
Mhm.
did last year, and I did this year. So his name is Gunter. So then he proposed, Jay, why don't we do as a pair? So we both can help each other. We both can support each other. So that's what we are planning for next year. But
Awesome.
that's a plan. But
Yeah.
things like this. I mean, for the races like this, getting to the start line
Biggest
is a
challenge.
big challenge. So once we get there, then comes the other challenges,
Challenge.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the plan right now. So
Yeah.
we don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's always nice to have something to look forward to and work
yeah,
towards, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah,
that that's what makes life exciting.
yeah.
I'm sure the journey is going to be worth
Hmm.
it
Yeah,
and memorable. And
yeah.
we probably talk again. Once you get through the through that experience. So
And I always manifest this feeling that I'm gonna have a chat with Vicky after the race.
I am already manifesting it. I'm looking forward to it again. Uh,
That makes two of us, Vicky.
yeah, yeah. Thanks, Jay. It's been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure talking to you and listening to the stories. Thanks for taking the time and sharing the experience with the Working Athlete podcast.
Actually, that makes actually two of us, Venki. And as I said earlier, I did this race. It's only because of this platform. I was where I got an opportunity to listen to two of the fantastic riders from India, and that actually inspired me. So I think the work you are doing through this platform is fabulous, and I think a country like India needs more and more bikey venkies, so it can inspire more people. So once again, thank you so much for having me here. And as you said, it's lovely talking to you again. And yeah, looking forward to see you in Bangalore. If I come in the next couple of months, probably I'll just come and say hi to you.
Yeah, yeah. Let's ride. Let's ride.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're always climbing, so I'll probably think about it if I will ride with you. But I will have a coffee with you, or probably if you have a flat section, I'll just ride with you there.
Definitely, definitely. All right.
Thank you
Until
again. Take care. Have a lovely evening.
awesome. Thanks, Jay.